Hi there, I'm Mcrosbie from Finch Chevrolet in London, Ontario, Canada, and you're watching Cars and Crosby. I am in Kentucky at the National Corvette Museum's Motorsport Park with my Cadillac-V and a Z06. On today's episode, I'm going to drive both of these on a racetrack and give you guys my first-person perspective and experience here at the park. This has been just an absolutely remarkable day. There is Corvettes all around me and the Cadillac. I am officially the first person in the world to get a massage on a racetrack, and you're going to see it all in today's episode starting right now. I honestly did not think that this day would be coming so soon. But I'm not going to be upset. This is a happy episode. I honestly I think if you guys are following along by now, you've figured out that I'm on an adventure. I don't know where this adventure is going. Like the credo says with Chevrolet, find new roads. And I always like to try to find new ones. An opportunity came about. And yeah, I think this segment's to, just basically be the beginning of the end for the Escalade or Cadillac-V and talk about why I did it. I'm hearing rumors that there is going to be a Corvette SUV coming on. And if that's the case, I'm also hearing rumors from reputable sources like Car and Driver that they're going to be keeping the LT4 powertrain. And it makes a lot of sense because the rumors are also saying that the Corvette SUV is going to be built on the Alpha platform, which is what the CT5 is built on, which is what the Blackwing is, which is basically what this is. This is the CT5 Blackwing with the ZR1 blower, which is 2.8 liters in displacement. So they put the larger blower from the ZR1 from the C7 generation on the Escalade-V, and it's not the Blackwing because it's not a track-specific model. Follow along with me, guys. Anyways, if that's the case, then this is not going to be the final hurrah in terms of big SUVs with big, powerful V8s that have amazing exhausts. And it makes me feel a little bit better about saying goodbye to the Cadillac-V. And I obviously have purchased something new. And with that, it's also going to be a little bit more fun for me to be able to have. And then I've also got there's a lot of things that are changing. I don't know how much of this I planned on saying on the channel today, but I might as well give you guys a heads up. So the Cadillac-V is on its epic last voyage. I'm about to leave 5 degrees Celsius Canada for 26 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's warm. Fahrenheit, probably in the 90s for Kentucky. It's the last voyage. I thought if I'm going to do something, I want to go out with a bang. I want to see all the things down at Bowling Green and document it before it becomes crazy next week. I know I'm already planning on taking the Corvette that week, so that's why I wanted to do this week. In terms of the truck, I am going to keep that as my Cadillac. I guess I can't call it a Cadillac. The AT4X is going to swap out with a new vehicle, and that will be the new dad vehicle for when I have my daughter with me. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a bunch of change ups that are happening. Let's just focus on the one that's in front of us. So I really want to home in on, the experience, get one last really epic road trip. I've never really taken it on a long road trip. This is going to be about probably 1,500 miles, 2,000 kilometers. So definitely going to get its feet wet. It's got a fresh tank. I'm going to be following them more religiously, the fuel economy on it. Already from a ride perspective, I love it. And then also there might be a slight chance that I might be able to take the Cadillac-V on the racetrack. Obviously, with this not being a Blackwing, it's not built for being on the racetrack, but it may be something that we are able to do and not get too crazy with, especially if it's 26 degrees out. That's the only reason why I'm considering it. But obviously, if they don't want me to do that, then I'm not going to do it. So we're going to start this voyage. I'm going to leave now in the next few hours. I just finished picking up the next replacement for it. So they are going to cross paths for a couple of days, but I'm very sad. It's bittersweet. This is why I wanted to do a road trip, because this is what I remember cars from the most, is when I do these types of road trips, and that's what I want to take away from it. On a side note, this is a Z06 that I designed and sold to a client, and they have 40,000 kilometers on their Z06. This is Watkins Glen Gray on Kalahari with ceramic brakes, and I could not be more proud of these clients in terms of what they do with their vehicle. They're very active members of the local Corvette association that I'm a part of, which is Corvettes of Western Ontario. And I just really think that it's really great that even though they have a Z06, they're still putting 40,000 kilometers on a vehicle over the course of 5 years. So let's get on the road, and we'll make our way down to a warmer place where we can have some Corvette Z06 fun. All right, 5:30 in the morning outside of Cincinnati Airport. You know, I wish that we had a stealth mode for the Escalade, because when the Escalade-V starts out with 118 horsepower or decibels, it's not quiet. It's the only thing. From a night presence as well, the Escalade-V is pretty sick. When you approach it and you unlock the car, check out the logos on the ground, and then also on the running boards. There is a lot of presence when it comes to lighting on a Cadillac, and they did it right. You know, the Lyric is bringing it to another level that we have coming up with its whole light dance and everything, but this is still pretty damn good. And I was actually just in front of a friend of mine that had a Lyric, and all the indicators are sequential, which I really enjoyed as well. So, little tidbit about lighting. 5:30 in the morning, next stop, National Corvette Museum. I made it. I forgot about a time change halfway through Kentucky. Where I parked was nearby Cincinnati Airport, and so thankfully I'm now an hour early before I need to be at the National Corvette Museum's Motorsport Park for the Z06 experience. So that's the first thing on the list. And I'm not allowed to park in these spaces, as you guys can see here. This is for only Corvettes. There's a military helicopter flying over there. That's interesting. And well, she's kind of allowed to be here because our heart was made at this facility. In here is the Performance Build Center. This is Bowling Green Assembly, as you guys can see, and we are on hallowed ground. I'm very excited. Interestingly enough, there are no Corvettes on display right now. Normally, this is an area where we have Corvettes that go up. You can see that they have kind of something here to stop people from going up here, and then there's some lights that are up here. I have a feeling that they are planning on changing this for next week when they have the bash. I bet you they're going to put some new vehicles up there, and that might be why there's nothing there right now. So I'm going to continue on with my pilgrimage. I am exceptionally happy. I've had this in V mode almost the entire way down. It's about 620 miles from where I live, and almost the entire time I've had it in V mode, and it's been I'm really gonna miss this car. It is a total wild shot. As you guys know from the one episode, it's 118 decibels when you cold start it. With it having such a large engine and then having such a long wheelbase to have that exhaust resonating through, there's so many amazing things that I can see, and I'm hoping maybe I can even meet the gentleman that built this vehicle's engine inside of here. I'm going to give you guys more of a long-term review after I finish my experience here, and then on the way back I might do some more, but yeah, I'm pretty happy. Here we go. All right, guys, I am absolutely pumped. It is now 9 in the morning, and I'm just getting ready to go through at the National Corvette Museum's Motorsport Park, NCM Motorsport Park. And we can see here a lineup of their vehicles that they have. The Z06s have still not been woken up out of their slumber. But as you can see here, we have an RS, which is our V6 version of the Alpha Platform Camaro. We have what I used to have. This is a Watkins Glen Gray stick Stingray. This is a Z51 with a stick transmission. This is actually exactly, oh no, it's a 1LT. This is almost exactly what I had. Last time that I was down here, I had a Watkins Glen Stingray from 2017. I believe that this is going to be a 2017 as well because it's still in Watkins Glen Gray. But that's an eclectic little moment for me because I had almost that exact same car. And then we have a 1LE. I can tell it's a 1LE because it's got a wrapped hood and there's no sunroof on it. And then we've got a hypersonic gray C8 with a cool kind of decal wrapped on here. That's not a bad look. We've got red calipers on here, black painted wheels with the lip on there. You can see that these Pilot Sports that are on here have definitely been used on a track, and I've always talked about how you can tell. Well, you can see it on this quite easily, the marbling that you have on these from when they go through a heat cycle. And then we got over here another Z51 that has Arctic white as its color. No engine appearance package. It's a coupe for obvious reasons. If it's going on a racetrack, they're going to want to keep that looking sharp. And it is also, no, this one's a 2LT, and it has the regular GT1 seats. I'm surprised they don't have the competition seats in there. We have an Amplify orange C8 right there. This might be a customer's. Oh, it's got no plate on it. Interesting. I wonder whose that is. Anyways, we're going to be doing the Z06 experience today, and I'm also going to be taking the Cadillac V on the racetrack. Now, full disclaimer, guys, you are on your own if you're on a racetrack, and more importantly, this is not built for the racetrack. That's why it's not a black wing. So it's all fine and dandy. I'm going to take it easy. I want to enjoy myself and just see what this thing is capable of doing on some corners that I normally don't do. I've taken all the contents out of here as well, making sure that there's nothing that can move around, because obviously it's a large area with a high center of mass, so that's important that you want to do. And then as you guys can see over here, they have some construction going on because they unfortunately were a victim of a tornado in 2011 or 2021, and so they are in the process of renovating and also improving on the facilities here. There's going to be a pavilion at the top there, which will be able to serve you drinks while you're watching your friends or relatives or anyone that you know that's on the track race around on this Motorsports track. You can see in the distance there, that is the National Corvette Museum, and then over in that area over there would be where the facility for where they make the Corvettes is. So lots of things going on today. I'm excited to be here before it gets too busy because it's 27 degrees Celsius. I think it's going to be close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit today, and I'm pumped. So let's get out there on the track. All right, here we go. This is it. Oh man. Well, we're going to go on the racetrack. We are going to experience what the Cadillac V is all about. It is not a black wing. So because of that, it is not a track specific model, but I want to see what it's all about. And this is a track specific model. I definitely want to see what this is all about. And well, it is going to be a really fun day. The dynamic capability of these vehicles is what I'm going to be focusing on. You know, the fact that you can take both of these vehicles on the roads and have an epic road trip, but also stop along the way somewhere and go on a racetrack. That to me is the biggest thing that I want to showcase about these vehicles, is that depth, that bandwidth. There's so much that you can do with one product. It's not a one-trick pony, and you're going to see all that today on this episode. So here we go. I'm going to go with the first part, which was with the Escalade, and then we're going to go to the Z06. All right, the moment I've been waiting for. Look at this, I got the Escalade-V right beside a Z06. Oh my goodness, I'm so pumped right now. Hypersonic gray too, this is my color, I love it. All right, let's get inside. What do we got here? We got a 2LZ, it looks like. Actually, it's a 1LZ. All right, here we go. Wow, already 6,000 miles on it. That's wild. Got a performance data recorder that's in auto mode, so it'll automatically record as soon as you get into the vehicle. Keep in mind, guys, with this even being a 1LZ, it still has the heads-up display. So the easiest way for me to tell when I was getting in is that the speakers here are black instead of the Post Performance Series sound system. These are a GT1 seat. I didn't know that they had just the GT1s on this. I'm kind of glad it doesn't have a competition seat. I'm a little husky these days. I call it my dad bod. And wow, look at this. It was an NCM delivery. That's cute. I guess it makes sense with this being a National Corvette Museum Park that they would have the NCM on here. So I'm going to get on the track and then I'm going to give you guys a synopsis of how everything went. All right, guys. We are in a Z06. And we're about to go on a racetrack. I am a pig in the mud. Oh, I could not be happier. Let's turn the AC off. There we go. And she's warming up a little bit. Tires are still obviously a little cold right now. But here we go. This gentleman in front of us is going to be our lead car. I am going to the National Corvette Museum Motorsport Park with a Z06. I still can't believe that this is happening. I did not expect earlier this week when I was planning my week out that it still just isn't sinking in, even though I knew I wanted to do this. Well, it's the Z06, guys. Let's just clean our windshield before we go out here. Okay, idling noise, ambient road noise, it definitely has a lot more of a, it feels a lot more high octane, let's call it, the meter of the car. So putting it into sport mode. I'm going to respect this gentleman in front of me. Holy cow, the braking sensitivity is so much different. I was literally just in my Escalade, and so I was braking way earlier, and I just shot myself forward because I was not used to having only 3/4 of a ton of mass instead of two metric tons of mass for my Escalade-V. In terms of how this feels on the road, it definitely feels a lot more planted. I'm trying to give this gentleman in front of me a lot of space because obviously he knows the track better than I do. But wow, the brakes and how they bite, oh my goodness. Look at this. It's downshifting. Okay, this is a double apex here, so we're going to want to wait for the second one. There we go, look at that. Getting some snarling and popping like we had in the Escalade-V. Now I could take the curbs in this, whereas I couldn't take the curbs in the Escalade-V because it just has such a high center of mass that it's not a good idea to do. Let's give him some distance here. My God, that LT6 just sounds so amazing. Oh, I'm blown away. It is revving at about 7,800 RPM, and it feels like I'm on flypaper right now. There is no light-endedness in any way in the front. I don't feel it bouncing around and looking for traction. I'm not even noticing when I'm looking down in straightaways the traction control system on at all. It is it is very planted. It feels significantly more planted than my Z51 Stingray that I had. This is a really cool corner. This almost reminds me of Laguna Seca corkscrew. Just had a washer fluid low thing come on from all the washer fluid that I just spent. There we go. Wait for the apex on the way out. There's the second one there. And here comes the straightaway, I believe. Oh no, 2 more corners. Look at how I can connect these and how planted I am. I don't really need to do any corrections in the steering input. We're doing 87, so freeway, a little above freeway speeds. I can brake way later than he can. So he started braking at the 3. I could brake at the 2 there. Not that we're trying to race. I want to obviously respect these vehicles. Oh my God, that is just wild. Oh man. I'm just gonna compose my thoughts behind this, guys. There's so many things that are going through my mind right now. This is just far and above whatever I expected the Z06 is going to be like. That braking is unbelievable. This is just in sport mode too, guys. The shifting that this is doing is so intuitive. It knows what I'm trying to do. Sport mode has always been the mode that the Corvette feels itself in my honest opinion. Obviously, track mode is going to be, a level above that. But if you're wanting spirited driving, which we're doing right now, we're not trying to break any speed records. I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm just trying to put a face to the name and see what this thing's all about. And I'm just blown away. That snarl and pop, it just really feels in its element when it's at about 100 miles an hour. Look at these corners. Look at the grip in there. The lateral G's. That was almost a full G, three quarters of a G in that corner, and I wasn't even really trying. That is just insane. If I really wanted to around this corner, I bet you I could get a G. There was 0.8 of a G. See when I'm going around this corner, see how I'm not having to correct my steering input in any way? I'm looking for the apex on here, locked in there. I don't have to worry about the balance of this vehicle being unsprung. It is so well planted and in control. It makes me look like I'm doing a really good job at this, and it makes it easy to be on a track in spirited driving and to feel composed and confident. That to me is what really speaks the largest about this. This is just something else. That red line, oh, huge bug. R.I.P. to that bug. So he brakes at 4, I'm going to brake at 2, and look at this. Not even close. I'm going to get that. There we go. I'm not even going into the paddle shifters, to be honest with you. I'm really happy and interested in seeing where this Corvette decides to shift and everything. I'm going to review this dash cam footage from the performance data recorder, obviously, and throw this into the video. But I'm really impressed just in seeing where the Z06 is deciding that it wants to put you into a gear. And keep in mind, that normally is one of the things that purists are against, is leaving it in an automatic mode. But I really want to see where this car wants it to be, and so far, honestly, I can say that it hasn't really made any mistakes yet. It's just really been impressive in terms of, wow, there's a little bit of a squeal. These aren't the ceramic brakes either. That's surprising. This is just the regular Z06. It's not a Z07. We're getting a little bit of squeal. That's interesting. I don't know if you guys can hear that. This thing handles. It is insane. I'm not even really pushing it. I feel like there's so much more that this thing is capable of doing. And this is only my third lap, and I'm already so confident behind the wheel of this thing. A little bit of a lift and coast for me there on that one. I'm surprised as well at how it handles when I go over these shoulders. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on the shoulders this lap to show you guys. Again, the magnetic ride control is just really the biggest win here. I'm just trying to see, there is a 1G corner oversteer on my behalf. The magnetic ride control system in this thing is, I can tell it's a lot different than the regular Stingray, especially when I went over those bumps. Like I can't believe how fast it can differ from high speed, fluttering on a straightaway, which you'll see up ahead here, over me, hitting a curve aggressively. So you're going to hit that curve up aggressively, and it's really good at being able to differentiate between the two types of situations. Hit this corner a little bit more aggressively on here. That would have been way harder for me to be able to stay planted on in any of the other vehicles that I've ever driven than this thing. It doesn't like this corner, it really likes to squeal. So this is where I'm talking about the two different types of things that the magnetic ride control system's good at. One is hitting a corner at high speeds like that, and then the second is being able to take it over these undulations here. This is not even level surface here. There's a lot of things right there that I just went over, and that magnetic ride control system's really, really helping me out and staying confident in that kind of straightaway, those undulations. That to me is really impressive. The suspension in this thing is just very dynamic. And that's all she wrote. Man, I am blown away. That is something else. She's loud. Like the cabin interior is really impressive in terms of bringing that symphony of the 8600 RPM, sorry, 7800 RPM into it. I guess 86 if you consider the top red line. It's well, I'll see when I see the footage. I'm trying to talk. I hope that you guys can hear me okay. I've usually never had an issue with talking softly. Oh man, that is something else. All right, well, I can't wait to get this edited into the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that segment. I am blown away. That was something else. There really is a huge difference between what's in front of us right now and this Z06, especially for intermediate to advanced drivers. I think that there's going to be a lot more that you can get out of the Z06 over the Z51. One thing that, you know, not to be an ego hit on people that I've been saying for a while, even that Z51 in front of us is an absolute weapon compared to what most people do and see and feel on a vehicle. That is something else. There's the Escalade-V. How cute is that? All right. I am blown away. This is been quite a day. There's new team of Z06s going out on the track there. There's a nice Admiral Blue Z06. Leadfoot 1, nice plates. What do I don't even know. I'm lost for words right now, guys. Let's start with this one, the Escalade-V. It is a 6,800 pound beast, the luxury barge with a V, a hand-built 682 horsepower V8 engine. The torque band on this thing is so linear because of the huge blower that's on it. There's never really any boost issues that you need to worry about, and it really helps out when you have such a large mass. It's very linear. There's no jerkiness with the Escalade. It's just so composed on and off the racetrack. This thing is just, it's so powerful and so fluid in terms of its motions. It never really feels like it's being you know, pushed too hard or out of its element. And keeping in mind, I really didn't, you know, be crazy. I did it within reason. I had some fun on there. And the same could be said with this at a higher rate of speed. This thing, it just feels in its element at such a high rate of speed that I'm just absolutely lost for words right now. That to me is probably one of the biggest things that I would take away from this ridiculous skit that I did with the Escalade-V here. This thing has an unbelievable suspension, and it allows you to be able to do mild to wild. And it's not a one-trick pony. That to me is one of the biggest things that I've been trying to learn and talk about and showcase to you guys about this Escalade. It does not feel like they just took the biggest engine that they could find and change the vehicle around. You know, you've got this V button here that's hidden in here, and when you put that in there, it does so much to the suspension in terms of making it it lowers the suspension, and then the magnetic ride control system works absolute magic and wonders. And the same could be said about the Z06. It does have ceramic brakes. I didn't think that it did because I didn't see an aero package on here. So this is a 1LZ with no aero package but ceramic brakes that are on it. So my mistake, and that explains why we did hear the squealing when we were on the track. I'm gonna leave to most of the stuff that I said inside of the performance data recorder, because that was a pretty raw synopsis of how everything went for me on that. I am blown away at the composure as well. I guess both of them I'm really in the same boat on, in terms of it feeling effortless in what it was doing, even though there was a huge shift from what it normally can do on a regular street within the legal limits. So, you know, that depth of being able to go from just having a grocery getter to something that can go around a racetrack while getting a massage is something that I will never forget. I'm so happy right now. This has just been an unbelievable experience in terms of getting to see what General Motors engineering is capable of doing. These two vehicles right here are, in my opinion, at the pinnacle of what we do in terms of engineering. And I'm just so proud and happy that we have these products that we're selling right now, because we have, without a doubt, an amazing combination on our hands here. I'm gonna wrap up this component of this episode, and we're gonna do a separate episode related to the National Corvette Museum and then the Bowling Green production facility, just because of how long the PDR recording session was, and to give you guys a little bit of a break in between the episodes. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm Mcrosbie. Stay tuned for amazing content, as you can see, and happy motoring.